On January the 30th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the River Palm Terrace in Edgewater, New Jersey, Martin Asatrian had a book signing ceremony for his recently published book entitled Only in America: Case for Immigration and International Human Rights. Asatrian had previously said that this book is about my memory of my dad and parlaying it to my son, who one day will read this and understand his Armenian culture and what his ancestors went through. With this book, Asatrian hopes to inspire the young generation. We share with you highlights of the book signing ceremony. All of the proceeds from the event went to the Fort Lee Regional Chamber of Commerce.
My book is really about my father. My father died. I was going through a little bit of a dark period of my life, so I wrote a book because he never had a chance to meet his grandson, that would be my son Benjamin. So I wrote the book in order to memorialize his life. It's not a famous life, he's not a celebrity or anything, but he was just a hard-working immigrant that came from the former Soviet Union. He was born in Syria, moved to Yerevan, Armenia. Can you guys hear me in the back? Yeah. All right. But before I talk a little bit more about the book, I want to say a special thanks to some very special people here today. The Egyptian delegation is here today. I want to say thank you very much. Thank you. Along with the Egyptian Defense Ministry. And their famous lawyers here today, who's also my mentor, Andy Islanian. Everybody give him a round of applause. And we have a few heroes in here that I have to mention by name. Jay Connector, where are you, Jay? Jay is a very humble guy. He's a former Federal Bureau of Investigations. He worked in counterintelligence, counterterrorism. And Jay has made us sleep well at night. Well, he hasn't slept well at night. He's our hero, so please give a round of applause for Jay Connector, please. I would be remiss to say thank you to Judge Compton for being here. I consider him a friend. He's been a jurist in the Superior Court of New Jersey for over 2 decades, and also Passaic County as well. He's a well-respected judge, a man of good compassion, fairness, and I'm proud to call him a friend, a man of honor. Me too. Thank you, Judge. Everybody else here, I have to say thank you to Hrant Guyan, who's been such a huge contributor to the Armenian community. And Hrant, I guess you don't hear this enough, but you can hear it from me. You are a stalwart in the Armenian community. You helped out with the Armenian genocide commemoration, the Times Square organizations. Well, I'm going to tell you right here publicly that without people like you, our cause would not go forward. So thank you, Hrant. Please give him a round of applause. Going back to the book, it's a small story of an immigrant story. Everybody in this room is an immigrant. They're a son or daughter of an immigrant. Unless you're a Native American, you have to claim your immigrant background. I'm looking across the room and I see everyone has immigrant backgrounds here. And it all started with the Pilgrims in the 16th century. They came fleeing religious persecution. And then the Irish Catholics came in the 19th century because of the potato famine. And it was a horrible situation. And every immigrant group has experienced persecution, discrimination, unfortunately, by other immigrants. And that's why people have short memories. There were signs in New York City across the river saying that Irish need not apply. Bigotry and harassment and discrimination has never stopped. In fact, it keeps going. And right now there's a new target. It's people from the Middle East and people from Central America and Mexico. And I hope that everyone in this room shows some compassion and love to the new immigrants, because the new immigrants are bringing $1.7 trillion in business to this country. Without Sergey Brin, who's the co-founder of Google, we wouldn't have no Google. Without Steve Jobs is of Syrian ancestry. And more importantly, he had an Armenian mother. That explains the genius. Sorry, I had to get that in. I got Armenians surrounded me. And I strongly believe that we have a covenant with immigrants, that we have to treat them like we treat our uncles or our great-grandparents, with accents and funny names, who came to Ellis Island with a bag in one hand and a baby in the other. They had nothing but hope, and it's amazing what they achieved. So that's why I wrote my book, Only in America. Because only in America could someone come here with a dream and a hope and a bag and a kid in his arm and achieve to the highest levels. And I was very inspired by Barack Obama. I think that his story is an amazing story. And he even said it in 2004, only in America can someone whose father was a Kenyan goat herder be a U.S. senator and then a U.S. president. People have short memory. They come here for 3 generations. Suddenly they hate on immigrants. What I'm asking everybody here, if you take anything from my speech, treat them as if they were your parents, your great-grandparents, your uncles, your aunts, because they will eventually assimilate and be part of the American mosaic. Not right away, they'll do it, but immigrants always do 3 things. They renew America, they revitalize America, and they reinvent America in a good way.
He came to this country with nothing and made something of himself. He was able to open an Exxon. He had a fleet of cabs, and we came from nothing. And he was able to have both of his sons become lawyers. And he did it from nothing. Again, no speaking English, no nothing. We came to this country with $10 in our pockets. Now we're all millionaires.
Asatrian,
he's a great guy. He's a good lawyer, good person. I always looked out for him. That's why I'm here, to support him. So,
Hayren խոսում ես։
Անշուշտ,
Համոս է Hayren։
Վարդան ցավտան են։
Nothing else. And like, well, we must be, there just must be nothing. I'm like, no, there's nothing in New York like this. I mean, it's like the village on Halloween. It's like that Confederate museum. There's my cards. You know what?
Thank you so much, Janet. I appreciate it.